Okay, here's a look at Siyang Cultural SY-03. I'm not sure how to properly pronounce it, but this is their version of a legend scale Getsuei and Yukikaze of the Trainbot team. So first, let's just take a look at this nice simple packaging. First of all, I like this simple packaging. It's just a flip open box. But what was surprising is they actually use this as a cover for the actual box. So this is really cool. So now we get a really cool packaging design, images of the two figures. And here you could see up close, this is 01. And I'll show you, this is says night walking, and 02 is snow field. And yeah, that's kind of interesting names. I don't know, I think it has something to do with the actual translation of their Japanese name, but I'll go over that later. And here you could see the back, and this is really cool. They give you an image of the combined mode for Raiden, which is really cool. And here you could see the highlighted. And I hope this is not a missing part, but you could see the side has those two guns attached to his lower legs. This did not come with any, and I looked at some of the other reviews, they didn't have it, but for some reason it's highlighted here. So hopefully we're gonna get that with the next set. But here's a look at the box, and this is their Thunderbolt train. And the side of the box, you get your QR code you could scan, and that's funny. It says Utobe, which maybe that's supposed to be YouTube. And then the other side, you get the nice product images of the trains and the combined mode, the legs and the feet. So that's cool. Top of the box, you get a nice grid, and the bottom you get stuff in different languages, and the origin is China, and other words and stuff. So that's a look at the box. And now here is a look at the figures. Okay, before I review these figures, I need to first explain why I'm getting them, because I'm not really collecting the Season 4 Headmasters, because I already have the original G1, but I am missing a few of the original G1 characters, such as these train bots. And I'm not going to spend like $1,000 or more than $1,000 to have the original G1. And then I was actually tempted to get the Takara MPG line, but I'll tell you in short, Takara I think did a very bad job on those figures. And then there is the Moon Studio, which I think is really nice, and I was tempted to get it. But there are things a little off, such as, you know, they might be scaled a little bit too big compared to the original G1. And then I'm also a little worried that if I get it, I might tempt myself to then try to pay aftermarket prices for the rest of the Season 4 Masterpiece, and I don't want to do that. So when these came out, I thought, wow, this is perfect, and it will go with my original G1 collection, because these are basically better versions of the original G1 with the better articulation, the better sculpt, the proportions. It captures more the tune aesthetic. So I thought this is just perfect. But if you'll see throughout the review that I'm kind of tempted to maybe start a legend scale collection of the season 4 headmasters because these, if you watch the whole review, these are really a nice set of figures. So starting off first here with, let me see if I can remember the name. This is, let's take him out. This is Getsuei, and he forms the right leg of Raiden. So now let's come up and take a closer look at all the details. So first of all, look at this. This is a really nicely sculpted head. And as you look down, look at all the nicely sculpted detail. I'm not too familiar with, the character design, but just from what I'm seeing from the cartoon and some images, this does look like it's very tune accurate and maybe also a little bit of G1 toy accurate. So I am really, really impressed with this figure. So now in terms of the articulation, head is on a ball joint, so it can look up, can look down and forward a little bit. It can rotate side to side, and it can go all around. And then shoulders, you could see on a ball joint, so it can go forward and back and out to the side. And then there is a bicep swivel. There is a double jointed elbow bend. There is a fist rotation. And coming down here to his waist, you do get waist rotation. And I'm not sure. No, there is no ab crunch. I mean, he does kind of have like a side ab crunch, but that's kind of like articulation for the leg. And then his legs, you could see his hips. He does have hip skirts front and back, out and the sides. So it can go forward, can go back, can go out to the side. You do get thigh rotation. You do get a nice looking knee joint, a knee bend, and then you get an ankle rocker, but no toe tilt up and down. And that's okay because you can still get some really cool dynamic poses out of this. This is really fun. And I didn't mention, but the plastic quality, this feels really good. It feels like it's in between Magic Square and New Age, because it's not that gummy plastic and it doesn't have that nice hard plastic with the paint, but it's in the middle. And I actually think this is really good quality plastic, especially when you're manipulating, transforming, having to bend the tabs and stuff over. I think this is done really well. In terms of engineering, the sculpt, the engineering, the transformation design, I think this is done really well. So anyways, that's a look at Getsuei. And now let's move him out and bring in, this is Yukikaze. And he forms the left leg of Raiden. So now let's zoom in, take a closer look at that. Look at that nicely sculpted head, and then look at the paint and the details. This is, like I said, this is done really well. I am really surprised. And again, I'm not too familiar with it, but just from the images I'm looking at, I think they did a really nice job capturing the toon aesthetics. And look at this. All of this cleans up really well. And he is pretty much the same. So basically, same amount of articulation, head up, down. It can turn to the side. It can rotate all around. Shoulders on a ball joint, so it can go forward and back, out to the side. Bicep swivel. Let's do it on the other arm. You get double jointed elbow, fist rotation. You do get waist rotation, no ab crunch. You can get side ab crunch. hips, you have side, front hip skirts, legs can go forward and back, out to the side. You get thigh rotation, you get the nice knee bend, and you get an ankle rocker, but no toe tilt up and down. So anyways, try to do that as fast as I could. But yeah, this is just like his twin mate. This is another really nice figure. And for me personally, I'm telling you, I like the color design. This is like the character's design, but I like the gray, the white, the the tan color, the green. I think the colors are really nice. All together, 6 of them, but I gotta wait till I get all 6. I think look really nice. So there's just a quick look at them. And I did want to do this because, or go over the weapons, because I want to have reference which one goes with which, because I don't want to mix and match. But here, let's take a closer look at his weapon. And these are the accessories it came with, was just the guns. And I'll bring this out again. Didn't get these 2 pieces, so I'm a little worried. Hopefully we'll get that with the other ones, because it didn't seem to come with this set. But this one, I'm going to just point out the difference. They also did a nice job capturing the tune and toy accuracy. And I wanted to do all this just to make sure which gun goes with which character. There is a little triangle here. So I guess the triangle goes with him, and then he does have like triangle wings at the end. So just wanted to point that out with his gun and give you a close-up look at his gun. And for Yukikaze's gun, here's a look at his gun. It has that circle in the middle. Also, like I said, they did a nice job capturing the accuracy of the toy and cartoon. So I think this is cool. And again, I'm just doing that just to document it, so I know which gun goes with which character. But anyways, here you could see what these guys look like. So now I don't have anything to compare it to, other than maybe just comparing it with the animation models that I could find online. And like I already said, I think they did a nice job capturing the toon aesthetics. So anyways, now let's go ahead and transform these guys. I don't know if I should do both, because they're basically the same, just a little bit different. So let's transform these guys to their alt mode and take a look at that. But before that, I said I wanted to go over the name. So here in the art book, I found something interesting on the page for these 2 characters. And let me see if I could find the right page for the character. Yeah, okay. So here, let's come up a little bit more so we can see. You could see Getsuei, and here, this is what I wanted to share with you. It says Getsuei translates as Moon Shadow. He is the Trainbot's Night Fighter. So yeah, if you remember, the box was kind of giving that description. And then also for Yukikaze, you could see it says Yukikaze, meaning snow breeze in English, is the heavy snow fighter of the Trainbots. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. So they are really doing a good job trying to capture everything that pertains to these characters. So anyways, now we can go ahead and transform these 2 guys to their alt mode and take a look at that. Okay, to transform these 2 into their alt mode, first let's start with Getsuei, and then remove his handgun. And letting you know that in the train mode, there is storage in the front here. So I want to mention that, so hopefully I'll remember to show you that. And then we can fold in his hands by lifting up his arm, bringing down the panel on the bottom of his forearm, fold in his hand, close that up. Do the same on the other side, lift up his arm, open up the panel on the bottom of his forearm, fold in his hand, close that up. And then on the back, you could see his backpack. You just simply pull back to untab that post that goes into that slot. And it is on a double hinge, so extend it out all the way like so. And then on the back, there is this little panel piece. You want to just lift that up. And then now we can open up his butt skirt here, which there are two parts. So bring this first one down and then lift the other one up. And you can bring them up together. That's going to form the top of the chest. And then here on his side hip skirts, you lift these up all the way because that forms the side of the train. And then here his crotch piece, you want to pull down and untab from the top that goes into that slot right there, and spread his legs out at an A stance. And this crotch piece is on a ball joint, so at an angle you want to now rotate this around and down, and there is a slot on the bottom for that tab, and then tab that in. Once you do, then these front hip skirts, lift these up. And then once you got all the side hip skirts opened up, now you can rotate his crotch hips around 180 like so. So you can see this is the top of the train, the bottom with the wheels. Okay, and then we can come back up to the top, and the top of his chest, there are 3 panel pieces you want to lift up open. So you could see there's the front and then these 2 side back pieces. So start with the side back pieces, just lift up the panels up. And then there's a little room to get your finger here to lift up the front panel piece like so. And then once you do, you can untab this a little bit. And on the side of his chest, you could see the pins. They do rotate out, but then there is a rotating piece where it does rotate up. So you need to do that and then fold that up like that. Once you do, then you can take his chest, bring it down, and then rotate it around 180. And you could see there's a tab and a slot. So you line it up, tab it in, and give it a good squeeze. Okay, now you could see the cavity in this chest for his head, but do not put it down this way because I'm cautioning you, trying to get it out is going to be hard. So it's better just to knock his head back like so on that ball joint, and then fold down his head this way. Now you have something to be able to grab this to pull it back out. Okay, once you do that, then his arms, you want to fold them in. You could see the shoulder joints, they do rotate in. So lift up his arm and then rotate it in. And then his shoulder panel pieces here, it does rotate on that center piece. And you want to use that to rotate it to get this piece lined up here. Push it in so it's nice and flush. Do the same on the other side. On that sliding piece, you want to fold that down, get it all nice and flush like so. And then his arms, they do need to fold down this way, not towards the front. So using the double hinge, those pins, you want to rotate these arms in. And now you could see you could fold down his arm. And then now we could come to the front piece. this comes, you need to form it. So you bring these pieces down, the two side pieces. But now's probably a good time to show you the handgun storage. So you could see there is a little slot there. I wish I would have just completed it instead of having it open so this would stay in a little bit more securely. But you could see this does come in. And then when you're bringing this down, it goes in between his arms. And then we can now fold down the two side pieces, which are on double hinges. So you need to use that double hinge to get this all straightened out nice and flush on both sides. Okay, once you do, then we can bring down his front piece, rotate it around 180, and you could see the two tabs and the slot. Line it up on both sides and tab it in if you get it lined up, and give it a good squeeze. Do it on both sides. And like I said, this panel piece is on a double hinge, so yeah, get it all nicely tabbed in. And then with the gun in there, now you could see there is this over-under tabbing system, the under and over. So basically you want to get that small one behind this front and then this top over and on both sides. So I'll do it this way. You just, apply some force and it will go in. I don't like applying force, but that's a fast, easy way. Just, force it in there. And then this top piece here, you could just bring down this panel piece like so. And now we can come down to the legs. And the legs, they do have these panel pieces that come up on both sides. And you could see this pin here. So you need to bring down this piece. So you could see when you lift it up all the way, it's going to form the rest of the side of the train. And you just tab it in on his hip. So you could see there's a tab and a slot on his hip. So you just get that tabbed in here. And then there's actually a tab here that goes on the bottom here. So there's two tabs. Just get that all lined up and make sure this is tabbed in nice and flush. Do the same on the other side. So here's that pin piece. You want to rotate this down and then you want to bring it up. There's that tab and the slot. And then there's the tab here that goes into the slot down there. So get all that lined up and tabbed in. The only challenging part is here on the hips. So get that all nicely tabbed in, and once you get this all nice and flush, now we could bring down this top piece and his legs. Now we can close these up, give it a good squeeze, and these tabs you could see go under. And this is where just a little bit of the bending to open it up just to get the tabs in, push it down, and then close that up. And now we have Getsuei in his alt mode. Okay, here's a look at Getsuei in his alt mode. And first, let's compare this with the animation model. And you could see I'm really impressed. They did a nice job capturing the toon aesthetics. I mean, all the details. This is done really well. So now let's take a closer look and appreciate all the nicely sculpted, painted detail. This is really nice. I'm really liking this. I'm not a trained person, but when they handle the details like this, it's nicely sculpted. Yeah, it's hard not to appreciate how how nice this looks. So that's a look at Getsuei in his alt mode. And here's just the one issue is these wheels, they tend to fall down for some reason. So you need to make sure that they're down. So the wheels, you could see it does roll. Nice. So this is really cool. I don't want to start being nitpicky and greedy, but yeah, some train tracks would be nice. And then I wonder if these are connecting points, so you know all the trains can connect together, you know, like in the cartoon, Japanese Headmaster cartoon. But anyways, we'll see. But you could see this is what Getsuei looks like in his alt mode, and I'm really impressed. This is really nice. So that's a look at Getsuei in his alt mode. And now to transform Yukikaze to his alt mode. Let's see if I can do this much faster. So first, remove his handguns, and don't forget there is storage, so you could put it in there. Just reminding myself to show you that. And then lift up his arm, open up the panels on his forearm, bring it down, fold that up and in. Do the same on the other side, open up the panel on the bottom of the forearm, fold that hand in and close it up. And then on the back, you want to pull back to untab it, and on the double hinge, extend it out all the way. And then there is this little panel piece. You want to lift that up, and then his butt skirt here, bring it down and then lift it up and then straighten that up, forms the top of the train. And then his side hip skirts, you want to fold that up like so. And then that forms the side of his train. And then spread his legs out at an A stance. And then, oh, this one was already done. But yeah, you basically untab his crotch piece on that ball joint. You want to rotate it down. And there is a tab here, tab it in on the bottom. And then we can lift up his front hip skirts and then rotate this around 180. And then bring down his hip skirts and make sure it's in the center so it's all nice and flush. And then we can come here to the top. There's 3 panel pieces. So lift up the 2 back pieces up like so. And then there's room to get your finger here to lift up. I'm losing that sticker, so might as well just fix that after. You want to get your finger in there to lift up this panel piece. This one's a little harder to get to, but you do need to open up this panel piece. Okay, once you do, I guess you could do that, just knock his head back, because like I said, it does need to be that way. Then you can pull down a little bit his chest. And remember, they do open up to the side, but then they also rotate up. And then you close that back up, and then this back piece. And then you can bring down his chest, rotate it around 180. There's the tab and the slot, line it up, tab it in, give it a good squeeze. And then his head, now you could bring it down this way, like so. And now his arms on that shoulder joint, you could rotate them up and in. And then these panel pieces on that sliding piece, you want to rotate it and get that tabbed in nice and flush. Do the same on the other side. Once you do, then his arms on that double joint, make sure you rotate them down so they fold down and in like so. And then don't forget the gun, but trying to figure out an easy way here, because you could see these do need to come down, and it is on a double hinge, so you need to use that double hinge to help you get this tab to go behind on both sides. And then this front piece, you want to bring it down, rotate it around, and you could see the 2 tabs there. You want to get that tabbed in like so. And hopefully you saw from the other one there is that post, and it's usually better to do it before you close up those side panel pieces, because it might make it a little easier to get that in. But once you do, then the front part goes in between his arms, and then that same over under tabbing, yeah, you just make sure you get them lined up on both sides, and then you can just give this a little force to push that in. Now we got the front done, and on the top just bring down this panel piece, and then on the bottom here his legs, remember there are these panel pieces you want to untab here on both sides, and then lift it up, and then there is that pin where you need to bring this down. And now you want to fold this up. Remember, there is the tab that goes into that slot. There is a tab here that goes underneath. So just make sure you get this all lined up, tabbed in. Make sure it's all nice and flush. Do the same on the other side. So rotate this down, bring that panel piece up. The tab here goes into his thigh, and then down here it goes up and in. And once you do, then we can come back to the bottom here. You can fold the back, close it, give it a good squeeze. And on the top here, you want to get that in like so. And now we have Yukikaze in his alt mode. Okay, here's a look at Yukikaze in his alt mode. And first, as always, let's compare this with the animation model. And again, you could see they did a really nice job. I mean, I could be a little nitpicky. You know, it doesn't really have the blue painted windows. I mean, I can custom paint that if I want, but you know, at least they still sculpted it in. It looks really nice. I mean, here it's missing the little yellow. I'm being really nitpicky, but you could see they did a really nice job sculpting this. Yeah, this is done really nice. And like I said, I might just custom paint that yellow, custom paint the windows blue. But you could see and appreciate this is done really well. I really like this. And in terms of the articulation, these do have wheels also. Interesting, this one doesn't seem to fall in easily like it does on Getsuei, but yeah, it does roll. And I think he does actually form the back of the train when they all connect. And again, I'm telling you, I think maybe it is going to connect here at the feet, hopefully. These don't connect together. It's a different train, but I'm just showing you how maybe they might have done something to connect it, hopefully, because that would really be cool, another feature. But anyways, here's a look at what was his name? Yeah, I already forgot his name, but here in his alt mode. It's a really nice alt mode.
Robot train, march!
Okay, to transform Getsuei and Yukikaze into their combined leg foot mode. First, let's start off here with Getsuei. And first, get yourself orientated. So obviously the front's going to come up to form his foot, and then this back is going to come down. So now how do you do that? First, start with the top. You see this little panel. There is a little groove here for your nail. So you want to open that up. And then with these over-under tabs on both sides, basically just kind of squeeze it in so that you can pull this out. And then, unfortunately, I think the gun is going to pop off, so just get that out of the way. And then here you could see it's some double hinges. You need to get this lined up, and it's a little tricky because the tolerance here on the double hinge is a little tight, trying to get that to bend. But you could see once you do, then it just kind of falls in place nice and flush. And the only concern here is these wheels seem to collapse in, but it's kind of holding up for now. Now we need to come up, and then we need to bring down this panel, but we need to have some room here. So we need to open up this section right here. There is a little tab here that does open up. It's that over under tab, so you want to see, lift that up all, and then bring this panel down, and do the same on this side. Just kind of pull. There's a little tab that goes behind there, so just open that up, and then you could see this opens up like so. And now we can come up here to the top. This piece comes down, but it is a little tight, so I'm just letting you know ahead of time. So when you're facing some tight resistance, it's okay. You just need to apply some force to untab it. And then once you do, then those tires here, you want to push those up as you're bringing this down, and then bring these forward like so. And then all of this is going to come down, but you need to get this chest piece out of the way. And here, so his arms on the bottom here, they come down, but I'm letting you know, I like to kind of rotate him around 180, because you could see when he falls down, it's going up. So if I rotate his arms 180, you could see when I push up, it doesn't collapse, but the other side goes up. So that's why I rotate this around 180. So now it's more stable this way. Now we have the room to rotate his chest piece around to the other side. And these top panel pieces, it's a little, you need to rotate this so you can get this so it's facing this way. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a hinge and a rotating, so it's two parts that you're trying to manipulate this to get this around. So it's looking like that, two forks going up. Now it's nice and flat here for this piece to come down, and you bring it down, and then you could see the little slot there. That's for the tab. Now you can see the pin. You rotate this up. That's for the tab here. If you could see it, that tab is gonna go into that slot. So line it up, and then first of all, line it up. And where is it? Get that tab to line up, and then you're gonna tab it in. If I can get that tab to line up, and I don't know why it's not going in here. It's give it a good squeeze. And then do the same on the other side. So you want to rotate, not there, rotate that big pin, and then you could see that tab goes into that slot right there. So you just line it up and then give it a good squeeze. And now we have Getsuei in his combined leg mode. And like I was telling you, one of the concerns I have was they didn't give us this part here, but I think that's what that little slot there is for, because it's not on the other side. So here's a look at him, and then just just taking a look at the top so you can kind of see how this is probably going to attach to the thigh. So obviously it looks like it's going to slide in here to the sides, and there's two little posts up there. So that's probably how that's going to attach. So now that we got him transformed, we can transform Yukikaze into his combined mode. Okay, this is pretty much the same thing, but I basically want to take up all of your time. So obviously this is going to come up, this is going to come down, but then you have to tweak things just to make room for that to happen. So starting first here with the top, there is that little slot there for your nail. If I can get it. If I have a nail to open this up, and if you don't, and it's a little hard, let's try it this way. Let's push in these sides and just pull this up, and yeah, that will kind of help to open this up. Let's see if I can now lift this up, and then all the way, and then now we could lift this up, and his gun's not coming out. But maybe I'll take it off. But remember, I went over the gun, so I know which gun goes to which. The circle goes to the green, and then the little triangle goes to the blue. Okay, and then remember, I was telling you the tolerance of that pin right there is a little tight. So you just need to just make sure you apply enough force just to get this nice and flush down here. And now we got the foot done. Now we can come up here to the top. And remember, I was telling you these pieces right here, they do need to open up. It is on a double hinge, so you can lift that up like so. Do the same on the other side. Just I'm doing something a little different. I'm applying force to get these tabs to come out, and then lift it out to the side like so. And then bring down his arms. And remember, I was telling you, if he goes back, it's not really stable. So I like to rotate his forearms around 180. So you can see it doesn't go up. But if you don't, it will go up. So rotate them on both sides. And then here, you want to take his chest and then rotate it around. And this part, see, it comes up, but then it rotates around to the side, and I'm kind of forcing it because I don't want to open up all these panels just to do it, but I'm just letting you know it's gonna be a little fussy trying to get that up, but this is the correct orientation so that it's nice and flush, has room for this top part to come down. So now that we got that all set up, and then remember I was telling you here, this one you need to apply some force to pull this down. Once you do, then there are the two wheels here that you need to lift those up. And then this will now come down all the way. There's a slot, and then there's the tab. And I didn't mention this before, but this is on a double hinge, so make sure you pull this down all the way and then push that in. And now you could see there's the slot. And so now this pin, you rotate it, and now you could see the tab lines up. Hopefully this will just easily just go in there. If I can get the tab and slot to line up, and yeah, just tab it in like so. And then do the same on the other side. On that big pin, rotate it, and there's the tab and the slot. Line it up and tab it in, give it a good squeeze, and now we have Yukikaze in his combined mode. And so now this is what the legs and foot look like, but like I was telling you, it is missing those two gray pieces, which hopefully will come with maybe the next set. But here you could see, let's do it this way so you can kind of see what this is going to look like. And yeah. Okay, to transform Getsuei and Yukikaze back to robot mode, first let's start with Getsuei. And let's see, let's first separate these legs so that we can kind of push them up and down to be able to lift up this tab piece, and then fold that up like so. And then these panel pieces that drop down to the lower legs. Remember, there is the tab that goes into the thigh. Bring that down, and then you could see you need to rotate this up, and there is a little tab. That's a nice touch. And then there is a tab here on the bottom that goes into the slot there. So do the same on the other side. You want to rotate this leg, which will probably help to untab this, and then you bring this down and then rotate this. There's a little tab that goes in that slot up there, and then there's also a tab here on the bottom. Tab that in, and then come to the front here, you know, that over under tab on both sides. So kind of squeeze these two together. Oh, but first, this top piece, let's open up this tab, and then we make some more room here. Now we can come back here, squeeze these two together, and then just pull that, untab it, and the gun's gonna come out. So let's put that to the side, and then we can open all of this up by pulling forward the front, untab it, and then rotate it around 180 at an angle, and then flatten that out. And then these two pieces, there's that double hinge. You want to lift them up all the way on both sides, like so. Okay, and then now we can come to up here. Let's come up a little bit so we can see a little better. And then you want to bring down his arms so that now we can bring out his arms here. There is that you know, shoulder panel piece that needs to come out of the place on both sides, and then you bring the arms out on that shoulder joint on both sides. And then I guess we can do the arms now. So just open up the panel piece. Where is it? On the side. Open it up, and then bring out his hand, close that panel piece, and then rotate these arms around so they're facing forward. Do the same on the other side. Lift up that panel piece on the forearm, bring out his hand, close that panel piece, and then rotate his arms so they're facing forward. And then this is the part I was telling you is a little tricky to get that head out. But since you put it in this way, you still might need tweezers. But because I do have like these small little fingers, let's use my right fingers. You just grab the top crest of his head. This is where they probably should put like a little groove or something to help make this easier to get out. And that's kind of why I'm doing this reverse transformation for you, so you can see what you don't normally see on reviews, the difficult part. But there, you got the head out. And then we can fold up his chest. And remember, these two side pieces, they do rotate out to the side, and then they do fold in. And then once you do, then you could rotate this around and then bring up his chest piece and lift up his head a little bit so we can close this top panel piece down and in, and then his two back top shoulder panel pieces down form the top of his chest. And then back down here to these hips. Let's lift up this hips, butt flap, and then the front flaps here. And then we need to rotate this around 180, and then bring down his front hip skirts and his butt flap, and then spread his legs out at a A stance so we can grab the crotch that's on the bottom. You pull to untab it from the bottom, and then at an angle you want to rotate this around and up, and then it does tab in up there. Tab that in, and then we can bring down his legs. And then the last part here is on the back. Now we can bring down that small panel piece. So we have that open space for this double hinge to come down and in. And you could see that post is going to go into that slot right there. And then last we can give Getsuei his handgun like so. And now we have Getsuei back in robot mode. And last, to transform Yukikaze back to robot mode, it's basically the same thing. So let's see if I could do this a little faster this time. So spread his legs out a little bit so we can kind of lift them up and down so that this top panel piece can come untabbed and up. And then once we do, kind of rotate his legs to untab this piece, but it also tabs in up and under from the bottom. And then we could bring down this panel piece and then rotate this up. You could see that tab goes in, which you could probably see a little bit better because this is white. And then there's the tab here that goes in that slot, and line it up, tab it in. Do the same on this side, rotate this leg so that this untabs here, and then you could bring this down and then rotate this up, tab that in, and then you could see the tab down here, line it up, tab it in like so. And then let's come up a little bit. Now we can untab up here, but first let's where is it? There's that panel piece up here, but it's a little hard to get your nail into that. They did give you a little groove here, so open that up. So now we have that space for this. And then here, you know, that over under tab on both sides, just kind of squeeze these two in to be able to lift this up like so. And then we can take out his handgun, put it to the side, and then untab this front part of the train, and then it is going to rotate around like so. And then here you want to bend this down to bring out that tab, and then fold it back. Do the same on the other side like so. And then we can bring this back, and now his arms, lift them up, and then you want to pull forward to untab his shoulder panel pieces, and then we can rotate them up and then bring out his arms on that shoulder joint. And then we can go ahead and lift up the panels here on the forearm to bring out his arm, close that up. Do the same on the other side, open up that panel, bring out his hand, fold it down. And then we can bring down his arms, and then we need to rotate them so they're facing forward. And then, yeah, his head. Let's see if I can find a way to easily get this one. This is what I'm telling you. You might need tweezers or something to help get this out, because this is the part that's I don't know. They should have done something to help make it a little easier to get out. But yeah, you could see I was able to get it out. Once you do, then now we can bring his chest up and rotate it around 180. And here, these you want to rotate the side of his chest, and then the hinge, lift them up and in, and then bring this up And then that top panel piece folded down, folds the top of his chest in the front, and then bring these two down and then fix his head. Now we got that done. And then let's spread his arms out. And here, oh, this piece kind of fell in. Want to make sure this stays open. And then lift up his butt flap here. And then lift up these two front hip skirts, which will allow you now to rotate this around 180. Once you do, you can bring down these hip skirts. And then here, his butt flap, bring it down and lift this up. Bring this down and then separate and then spread his legs out at an A stance so we can grab his crotch piece here on the bottom, untab it, and at the angle, rotate it around, up and in, and then it's going to tab in up there. Tab it in, bring down his legs, and then his hip skirts, also bring those down, his side hip skirts. And then the last is here you want to bring down the back on the nice double hinge, and then there's that post that goes into that slot, and line it up and tab it in. And then last is we can give him his handgun, put it in his fist, and now we have Yukikaze back in robot mode. Okay, now that we got Getsuei and Yukikaze back in robot mode, and I keep saying that over and over again because I want to make sure I remember these names. It's not as easy as Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Jazz, Megatron, stuff like that. So just explaining why I keep saying it again and again. Now I can give you my final thoughts on these. I really do like these figure a lot. Hopefully if you stayed with me to see all of the transformation, you know that the engineering on this is well designed, and the plastic quality is good where, you know, it can handle, you know, the rough manipulation and bending the plastic. So I have no worries with this whatsoever. And then the sculpt and the finish, the details, they're done really nice. It's not overly detailed, but there is just enough to give it the nice accents that it needs to make this really nice looking figures. And the alt mode, also the same thing. Just little nitpicky things such as, you know, maybe they could have done something to make it easier for the heads to come out during the transformation. That's why I did the reverse transformation, so you could see what you normally don't see from other reviewers, you know, the difficult parts from, you know, the other part of the transformation or the reverse transformation. And then little nitpicky things also like the wheels here, for some reason they collapse in, but those are really like I said, minor issues. But other than that, look at this. Let's come up a little bit so we could see these. I really love this. I mean, look at the detail on this too. And like I said from the beginning, you know, I'm not really collecting the season 4 headmasters because I already have the original G1. But you know, I don't have a complete set, which is why I got these. But now after handling these, because I really like this a lot, I am really hoping that Siyang Cultural is going to give us the season 4 characters, all of them, in the legend scale, because these are really cool. And also, I'm gonna let you know that I'm actually gonna start watching the Headmaster series because yeah, I'm really liking this a lot. And I'll just say, you know, just something else, just speaking randomly off the top of my head, it will be cool if they give us a Predaking, because yeah, I saw there's a couple of scenes where he's actually fighting Predaking, which was really cool. But the other figure from season 4, the headmasters they're going to give us that I'm getting maybe at the end of this month, is their Scorponok. So this is, I'm telling you, I'm really, really, really excited about this. So anyways, that's it. I took a lot of your time, but if you stuck with me to the end, I really appreciate it, because I really like these figures. And in terms of recommendations, like I always say, I don't give recommendations because if you want it, you'll get it. If you don't, you won't. But I'm just telling you, for me, I really like it. I'm really excited now. Looking forward to the other two sets. So, yeah, once I get it, yeah, it'll be really exciting to see what the combined Raiden mode is going to look like. So, with that said, that's my final review for the Siyang Cultural, what is it, 03, their, I don't know what they call it, but it's basically Getsuei and Yukikaze.
Okay, I have to go back to help the others, so I'll leave everything to you.
Thanks for the ride. Don't worry about anything.
Transform!
Take care!